Action cameras are becoming more and more popular. As technology and customer demands advance, so do the prices. It seems that lately all action camera brands are producing cameras over $100. That is why I was very interested in getting this Eken H9 camera that is priced at around $50, and I was quite curious to discover whether or not this is a good camera for beginners or people who are on extremely tight budget. On paper, camera can shoot videos at 1080p 60 frames per second and also 4K and 2.7K. It can also take 4 megapixel still images and has 2-inch LCD screen at the back. In this video, I'll be doing an in-depth performance test and review, so let's find out whether or not Eken H9 is worth the price tag. Besides this video, as always, I also wrote an article about this camera, so if you prefer reading or would like to find out more than covered in this video, please visit the link in the description, which will lead you to my blog post. Eken H9 has a SunPlus 6630 chipset and OV4689 CMOS image sensor inside. It arrives with a wide-angle 170-degree lens. Camera weighs only around 65 grams with a battery inside, and on the screen you can see its dimensions. Interesting thing is that it has a 2-inch LCD screen at the back, which allows you to live preview video and also change settings. Camera has a built-in microphone and also has a built-in Wi-Fi, which allows you to control camera remotely via the Android and iOS apps. The package is quite simple and certainly nothing new. It looks quite the same as some of the cameras I already reviewed, like Amco 5000S and HJ4000. Inside the box you get quite a lot of accessories. On this photo you can now see the list of all gears you get inside. Pretty good value for only $50 camera. From all these accessories, it is good to mention that you get waterproof housing, which allows you to go underwater to up to 30 meters, and also a wall charger and bunch of accessories and mounts to mount your camera on tripod, monopod or selfie sticks, whatever you prefer. As far as design is concerned, camera does not have much innovation. It is similar like any other camera coming from China. What was quite weird is that nowhere on the box or on the camera will you see Eken brand on it. This is probably because, as always, these Chinese guys are up to something and probably they will rebrand it and sell it to other brands that will sell this camera as their own. So possibly there will be plenty of these 4K Ultra HD cameras on the market under different brands, but this is something that Chinese guys always do with their cameras. Build quality is quite poor, and you can see here that camera is made out of the plastic and has slightly rubberized edges to prevent slipping. Camera feels quite lightweight, which is also good, but at the same time quite cheap in your hand. It was quite expected for $40 or $50, right? It can support micro SD, SDHC and SDHC memory cards of up to 64 GB. It has a very interesting and weird battery, in which I'll talk in a moment, but you should know that it can be charged via the car charger, power bank. Eken H9 has 5 different operating modes, and in order to change mode you simply need to press this power on off button. Here are the modes: video, photo, burst, time-lapse or self-timer, and settings. Before I show you the settings that this camera has and all the options, let's go to video, photo and audio quality, which are the most important things first. Let's go with video. Camera can shoot videos in insane amount of resolution, FPS and bit rates. Here is the list of all the resolutions. I know that plenty of you will be asking, is the 4K a true 4K video and how it is possible that $40-50 camera can record in 4K? Well, yes, this camera can record in true 4K resolution, however, the frames per second it has is only 10 frames per second, which means that the video output will look like a flip book. So in my opinion, 4K video is quite choppy and quite useless. So if you want to buy a 4K camera, you need to buy something real like GoPro Hero 4 Black or Sony cameras. Also, it has 2.7K resolution, which also has only 15 frames per second. Do not think that you will be able to record anything useful with 4K and 2.7K. This is just a marketing trick by these guys, and I really cannot imagine anyone shooting at 15 frames per second, especially with an action camera. Ridiculous. On the bright side, camera can record at 60 frames per second in full HD mode and also in 30 frames per second. I also should mention that I uploaded some raw video samples so you can download them. I'll put a link in the description of this video as well as in my article. Resolutions that you'll most probably use is Full HD at 60 and 30 frames per second. All the videos in this YouTube video are recorded at 60 frames per second. I should probably mention that camera can record while being attached to a power bank as well. Sharpness of the video is quite good, and I was surprised how well the lens focus was adjusted. Even though in most situations video colors were quite decent, when facing a strong direct sunlight I got a quite annoying reddish flare and the colors got a bit bleached. So the camera is not that good when facing in direct sunlight and also not that good at night in low light situations. However, considering the price, I did not expect an amazing low light performance, but it is decent. I'm not saying low light is bad, but it is just not good enough. Additionally, camera has no digital or optical video stabilization, but that was quite hard to expect for this price. Besides video mode, which allows you to record video, camera has photo mode, which obviously gives you ability to capture still images in 4 megapixels resolution. Even though manufacturer in their manual in both camera declare that camera can take 12 megapixel resolution, this resolution is interpolated and absolutely not true. You cannot take 12 megapixel images with 4 megapixel image sensor. Basically, your photo will have the resolution of 12 megapixels, but once you examine it closely, it will have the same sharpness as 4 megapixel image. So if you want to save memory on your camera, just use 4 megapixel resolution inside the settings menu. And even though the photos are sharp, once you zoom them in, they lose quite a lot on details. So for any serious photo editing, this is not a good camera, but for social media and sharing your photos with your friends, it is decent. Here now you can see a few samples of photo and how they look when cropped and scaled. In my opinion, image quality justified the price. One feature that quite surprised me was the audio quality. I was quite used to having a low audio output on action cameras from China, but with Eken H9 I actually got one of the loudest output of all cameras. I'm not saying it has a perfect audio output, I'm not audio expert and I'm quite bad at music and singing of course, but overall the volumes on the camera were quite good. But for recording concert I think that the microphone might be a bit too sensitive. So camera also does not have an external microphone output, so if audio quality really matters to you, such as recording music or concerts or voiceovers, whatever, you probably should get external microphone and external recorder and record of course audio separately from the video and then merge everything inside the video software if you know how to do it. But for everyday use I'd say the audio is quite good considering the price of the camera. In my opinion, the weakest link of the Eken H9 camera is without any doubt battery life and performance. Battery life is quite poor and more importantly it is inconsistent. Average recording time was around 45 minutes in 1080p 60 and around 83 minutes in 1080p 30. I was really not satisfied with this result and therefore just pull out this battery and use SJCam 900 mAh battery, and to my surprise not only that the battery life was more stable, but it was also significantly better. Recording time with SJCam battery was around 70 minutes in 60 frames per second and around 2 hours at 30 frames per second. Besides poor battery life, I was really annoyed with customer support of Eken. My experience with their support is probably the worst I have ever experienced. I understand that this product is cheap, but that does not mean that these guys can ignore emails for over a month. I send them 3 or 4 emails asking about different things. I send emails from different accounts and names just to see what these guys are up to, but I never got a reply. I even added them on Skype and asked questions, but also never got a reply. This is unbelievable, terrible and disgusting. I cannot believe that they are reading emails and ignoring them. What is even funnier is that on their about page they say Eken truly believes that long-term customer satisfaction is foundation of our success. Either these guys completely misunderstood the word satisfaction or they are lying. I'll leave that one up to you to decide. So, if anyone from Eken is watching this video or reading my article, why are you watching this video? Stop wasting your time, dude. Go bloody reply those emails. For customer support, you probably will need to rely on online communities. Also, you can always ask me a question in this video. I will do my best to help you out. Okay, one thing that worried me also about this camera, besides lack of customer support and battery life, is lack of firmware updates. While I have not experienced any serious bugs with this camera, it is quite normal that a product has software updates from time to time, improving and adding new options. Unfortunately, on Eken website there is no firmware page, and I hope that they will make one very soon. From time to time people ask me, should I buy a $40 Chinese knockoff or GoPro Hero 4? I mean, for fuck's sake, dude, are you from the Mars? Seriously, how can you even compare a 400 GoPro camera with a $40 Chinese knockoff? Of course, GoPro is the best camera out there, but it costs 10 times more than any other Chinese brand. So if you have the money, go buy a GoPro, but do not expect cheap Chinese camera to be a GoPro. I mean, it's not realistic, and I want to be honest with you guys and tell you not to expect that. It's not fair to expect things like that. Anyway, considering the insane low price of this camera, which is around 40 or 50 bucks at the moment of recording this video. By the way, I'll put the links where you can get this camera a bit cheaper with some promotions running out. In my opinion, camera offers great value for the money. It is probably one of the cheapest cameras out there with best performance. First, the pros. The most important pro, besides its price, is that camera can record videos at 60 frames per second in full HD. 4K and 2.7K are useless, and I will not talk about them. Also, I really like to preview what I'm recording. That is why I really like the large 2-inch LCD screen at the back of the camera. It allows me to navigate through settings and options easily, and at the same time preview live what I'm recording. I also like the large LED indicator on top of the camera, which flashes red when you're recording, and because of its size it is quite easy to know if camera is recording or not. When you stop recording, however, there is no sign that you stop, so you always have to double check that top LED indicator to make sure that you stop video recording. I hope they can fix this in firmware updates and add sound when you stop recording. Video quality, in my opinion, was decent, even though the camera did not do that good job when facing direct sunlight and in low light situations. Videos was quite well focused, colors were quite decent, and I think that camera justified my expectations when it comes to video quality. For the price, photos are also not bad. They are not ultra sharp, but they will do job for some basic things, social media sharing and things like that. What surprised me was audio quality, which was quite good. Okay, now the cons. Build quality is not something that Eken can be proud of. Also, their 4K video recording and 2.7K are completely useless and just a marketing trick. You basically cannot record in those modes at such low frame rates. Biggest disadvantage is without any doubt the battery life, which is quite poor, and I'm under the impression that the battery capacity is not true. Good news is that camera is compatible with HDCam batteries, so I highly recommend you to pick up a spare battery from HDCam if you buy this camera. Also, manufacturer declares that the camera can take photos in up to 12 megapixels, but that is just interpolation. The true resolution of images is 4 megapixels. I did not like that there is no right out of the box video time-lapse, so if you're not tech savvy, you'll need to learn how to create time-lapse videos out of photos. And the biggest disadvantage of this camera without any doubt is lack of support. Overall, H9 might not be the best built and supported camera out on the market, and certainly not one with the best image or photo quality, but for the price of 40 or 50 bucks, I think that it offers an incredible amount of value. I would recommend this camera to people who are newbies to action cameras and are on extreme tight budget. If you're unsure if an action camera is what you really need, you can get this one and just see how action cameras work and get used to it. I also think that this camera is also a good present for your granddaughter, grandson, or your son and daughter, because they are cheap. If they manage to break them, you can get easily a spare one, and they will have heck of fun recording videos and photos with this camera. You do not need to buy them a 400 bucks GoPro just for them to have fun. For them, that is not important. That's it for this review. If you enjoyed this review, please like this video, subscribe for my channel for more action camera reviews, and if you have a question about the camera or would like to let me know your experience of using it, please leave a comment below. For more information and video samples, please check my article. Link is in the video description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.